What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the chat. My name is Kneeckoh, and today I'm going to be checking out the Xbox XCloud. If you're unaware what this is the Game Pass service that is available through streaming. You're able to do this through your PC, your Android phone, your Android tablet, your iOS device, whatever it may be. You're able to hop on the XCloud and actually do this. Now, it just officially rolled out on PC for all Game Pass Ultimate members and iOS devices, and I'm seeing a lot of people on Twitter really bash the system because, you know, you are streaming this. You need to have good internet for this to actually function the way it's supposed to. So I figured I'd boot it up here on my PC and I would check it out. I'm not going to be doing this on my iOS device. I'm going to be doing this over here on PC. And then if you want to check this out, if you are already a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber, you're able to do this yourself. So I think I'm going to hop into just a couple different games here and just kind of test the latency and things of that nature, so people kind of have an idea of what to expect when they hop into this. Like I said, you're gonna need good internet for this to work properly. You are streaming these games. These are not downloaded natively. You're going to have semi-decent Wi-Fi for this to work at its fullest potential. So let's get into it. Make sure you're subbed to the channel for more gaming stuff from me, Rico, and Toby in the future. Here we go. Alright, so here I am in the actual Game Pass web browser page, whatever you want to call it. And I'm just going to boot up, I think I'm going to do Sea of Thieves, and I'm going to check out Maneater. Maneater is not an online game, Sea of Thieves is, so I'm going to check out each of these games individually. Now, I have not tested this yet. I have not played this. I've played it previously before it released to everybody on my iOS device. I did get into the beta and I was able to try it out. And I had some latency issues, but it wasn't anything terrible. Now, they did say that the Xbox Series X Blades servers, or whatever the hell that means, is going to be doing this now so that you're able to actually play these at a better, more stable frame rate and things of that nature. It's going to be a more stable stream. How stable, I'm unaware, because like I said, I haven't played since the previous beta when it was only available by invite only. Okay, so I actually had to re-record this part because I noticed that when I actually booted the game up, my camera would lag and my face wasn't synced up with the audio. It was a whole thing. So, just to prove, you know, that this is still me doing all this stuff. Hi, I'm right here. There. I clicked the wrong scene, but I'm right here. I'm still here. Okay, I'm going to boot the game up, and then I will do this again because I know some people are going to be like, oh, it's not actually him playing, whatever. So, here we go. Okay, so we've actually loaded in a game. Let me throw me up. I'm right here. Hi. See, it says click anywhere on the screen to resume. I'm gonna click. Hey, I'm still here. It's probably my face isn't synced up, but I'm still here. This is me doing this for all the non-believers out there. But this is what the game is looking like. I'm gonna start there. It looks good. Okay. For a game that's being streamed, it looks good. Obviously, it doesn't look as good as something that's going to be run natively, but you're streaming this. And it looks pretty decent for what it is, honestly. Now, in terms of actual like input delay, there is some. I'm not going to lie to you. There's definitely a little bit input delay. So like right now, if I move right, ready? Move. Like, it's very minimal, the amount of delay that you're actually getting. Now, this is going to change, obviously, based on your Wi-Fi signal. I will say right now that my Wi-Fi signal is not at peak performance. I live with 4 other people, okay? So I'm not going to get the best experience that you could possibly get from this, especially considering my roommate is actually in the other room streaming Call of Duty right now. So there's no way that I'm going to have the best performance. But in terms of actually how this is running and looking, I'm very impressed. I wanted to do this game first because it is a multiplayer game, and you are on a server. You're on a server playing with other people, and that is, in its own right, is going to cause some issues. So I wanted to see how the multiplayer game would actually run. I'm not going to go out in the sea and do all that stuff. I'm just going to kind of run around for a second, and then we're going to switch over to Maneater because Maneater is a single player game, and we're going to see how that runs in comparison. But yeah, in terms of how the game runs overall, the input delay is so minimal. Like, it really genuinely is so minimal, and that's because, you know, like the Xbox Blades or whatever I talked about earlier, them putting into this, it's supposed to be decreasing the latency. Now, I'm gonna say this: so many people on Twitter, I've seen so many people, all the PlayStation bots, that hate Game Pass for whatever freaking reason because it's not on PlayStation. I don't know. I don't get why they hate it. They just don't like it. They discredit it. I've seen so many videos of people posting stuff with like the latency problems and stuff, but never show, you know, what their Wi-Fi signal is, you know, what their strength is, things of that nature. Okay, so overall, I would take those with a grain of salt. I think it is a laggy experience, but it's such a minimal amount of lag that it's not something that's going to bother you too much if you're playing something like Sea of Thieves very casually, or playing, you know, a single player game. I would not recommend this by any means if you're going to play competitive and stuff that you need, you know, that split-second decision-making kind of stuff. That's not what this is for. But if you're playing single player stuff, I think this is fine. And again, take all the videos you see on Twitter with a grain of salt, because you don't know what the computer specs are, what the streaming capabilities are, you know, what the Wi-Fi is like. You don't know anything that they are doing. You don't even know if they recorded it the same date or if they recorded it in an earlier beta version, you know. And this is still in beta. People are saying online, oh, it's rolled out. It's still in beta. If you can read at a 3rd grade level, you can see that online it still says it's in beta. It did roll out for iOS users, and it rolled out for all Game Pass Ultimate members. But this is still a beta run for this service, much like Grounded has been on Game Pass for forever, but it's still an early access game. That kind of deal. So I'm going to swap over to Maneater now that I've kind of run around and showed this off. So now I'm going to boot up Maneater, because Maneater doesn't require you to be on, you know, online and on a server or anything. Maneater is a single player game. So I'm going to boot that up. We're going to see what that's going to do for us, if there's going to be better latency issues or things of that nature. I just want to kind of compare and contrast the two to see, you know, what the actual differences are going to be. All right, so I've loaded into Maneater. Again, here's my face. It's probably not synced up because of everything going on. It's probably not synced, but I'm here. We're all good. Okay, I'm gonna hide my face again. So here's Maneater, okay, and again, you're going to have that little bit of input lag. But again, the input is so minor that you're not gonna notice. Like, I genuinely, once I get going, it just feels normal. The most I will say that you're going to notice is that actual, like, frame dipping that you get. Why is my mouse cursor in the middle of the screen? The frame dipping is something that you're going to see a ton of, okay? And that is just, again, my roommate streaming in the other room. If my roommate wasn't streaming and I had full, you know, Wi-Fi capabilities, and I made sure everybody else was off, you know, Netflix or whatever the hell that they're doing on their phone, it would probably work a whole lot better. So if you have like killer Wi-Fi, or if you know that you're not, like, everybody else in the house isn't using a ton of it, then you're gonna have an okay experience playing this. It's not gonna be amazing, obviously, but again, this is in beta and they're going to keep working on this. And I can't help but think about, you know, as of right now, this is not meant to be, you know, the future of gaming. This is supposed to be another avenue to get into games. If you're not, you know, you don't have your console handy, or maybe you just don't have, you know, an Xbox, this is another avenue for you to hop in and play Xbox games. And I'm sure as time goes on, you know, and internet gets better. I mean, 5G is starting to roll out more and more locations. Once things like that get into effect, and once this, you know, gets a little further down the line in development and gets out of the beta phase, this is going to be a really, really awesome, you know, additional resource to play your Xbox library. I will reiterate, I don't think this is for competitive play. I think this is for, like, casual experiences and single player stuff. Unless this just gets incredibly smooth, I don't think this is for competitive stuff. Alright, so after playing, you know, testing those two games, I will say that there is a delay. There is a very noticeable little delay. In the single player game in Maneater, it was far less noticeable than what it is in, you know, a multiplayer game where you're on a server and there's other players running around and things of that nature. Now, again, I'm going to reiterate this because I keep seeing this all over Twitter. This is in beta still. This is not 100% set in stone. And again, my internet connection is not incredibly stable. I drop internet all the time, and my roommate is over there streaming Call of Duty right now. So my internet is not at peak performance. So this could be a whole lot better of an experience for me if my roommate, you know, turned off his stream and wasn't playing games online and doing things of that nature. So if you are the only person that's really using the internet, or if you have insane internet, this is going to work pretty well for you. Because it really was a tolerable delay for me. It wasn't something that was going to ruin my experience with the game. Now, again, if you were playing something competitive where, you know, split-second decisions really, really matter, it might affect you. But I would not recommend playing those games away from your actual console or PC anyways. So if you do that, that's kind of on you. But for me, I definitely think this is a great way to hop in and play, you know, some single player stuff that you have in your backlog and you haven't touched in a while, or you know, you want to get back to and you're away from your Xbox. So that's where I see this going. I definitely see this getting better along the way. The further they get into using this kind of, you know, technology, it's going to get better. And especially with internet speeds getting better and better, 5G is now rolling out in more places. That's going to help this out a lot as well. So the further we advance in technology, the better and better this is going to get. But seeing as it runs right now, it look as good as it does and perform, tolerably, I say this is looking like a bright future. I don't think it's perfect right now by any means, but I don't think it's something to really be upset about by any means, because it's cool that they are trying to make this as good a feature as it is. But that is it for this one. Thank you for entering the chat with me, folks. Again, I am Kneeckoh, and make sure you're subbed for more stuff like this in the future. Hope you found the video entertaining, and I'll catch y'all next time. Later.